Hi everyone. I'm Linda Little Bear, and if everybody else would like to introduce yourselves, I would hope they would.
I'm
So,
Rick. I'm Rick.
I'm Anna.
This is Dystopian Empire. Hello.
okay, guys, today we're just taking this a little step farther of what could be affecting consciousness and maybe making some people feel lower, and maybe some people are actually feeling higher. Some people are feeling sick. And others are feeling wonderful. So we're going to try to, we've been doing a lot of research into this, and you guys probably are help us out more than we help you. That's why it's interactive. So if I could I'm going to let Disc kind of tell us some things that are happening universal that could be affecting us.
Okay. Well, at least in the near sense, it all relates back to the sun, where whatever is going on in the sun affects the other planets in the solar system. And we are currently going through a shift in the sun's activity. It's going from a high activity period into a low activity period, and that, as I said, affects the other planets in the solar system as well. It has also gone through a polar shift, and that may not be significant, but it does affect some things while it went on, and uh, it's interesting that it is that is occurring as we're going into a minimum. But that's part of the cycle, but it's part of uh, a long cycle. So we add that to the fact that the Earth is going through some geomagnetic changes of its own. Right now, the pole has been drifting towards the equator, and it has been for a while. But what is particularly interesting is that it recently split into four. So now we have four geomagnetic North Poles. Uh, if you're feeling disoriented, could be. Um, Also, our magnetic field is sort of collapsing. It does rely on the sun and the solar wind to keep the magnetosphere stimulated. Well, as the sun goes into a minimum, that field is starting to shrink. Also, too, there's changes within the Earth as the pole moves. The magnetism is going to be affected, and we're getting more cosmic rays through, and that affects everything from our weather to the auroras, and we're getting all this extra random energy bleeding in from deep space, and it's we're coming into also galactically we're coming into a new age. We're coming out of I think Pisces and going into Aquarius. So there's some larger cosmological things going on there, various alignments and such. And we've recently passed through the cosmic disk. Of course, everybody remembers the 2012 panic. You know, the Planet X business. The Mayan calendar and all that. Yeah, something's happening, but it's not the end of things. It's just a time of change, and I think some people are feeling that. Whereas a lot of people may feel sort of random and chaotic, and others that are more leaning towards the positive energies are pursuing that more, and those that are more the low energy, I guess you could say pessimistic sort, are getting really more agitated, and their energy is more towards the lower frequencies. It seems like um, outside of that, um, there's Well, I'm going to just leave it there for a moment. Let's discuss that and anything that anyone has to add to that, and then we'll get to the next thing, which is uh, uh, how how waveforms are. We're literally in a wash of all sorts of waveforms that are separate from. Um, well, I won't get into that. We'll get later. Kind of complicated, but it's actually kind of simple.
Um, I'll say something with this poll thing that is happening. And what's the exact word we're going to call this? It's the like a reversal or um,
Geomagnetic shift. Actually, it might end up to where the north and south poles would end up along the equator.
Well,
um, I was I was
sorry.
going to say because oh, I'm sorry, Rick. I didn't mean to overtalk you. I was going to say this is going to the for you know we have to understand that this will affect birds and animals because their flights, like bees and everything that migrates, is going to have a weird. It's going to mess them up, and if it messes them up, it's going to mess us up. And some people will have different thoughts on that. That's why we are actually talking about this. It'll scare some people. The earth changes will. There'll be earth changes. Maybe not drastic ones. We don't know, or maybe drastic ones. But
Well,
I think
the weather, and it also is the solar activity. Uh, seems to drive earthquakes. When we have large sunspots that erupt, it seems to set off earthquakes. But we're also experiencing a lot of sinkholes too, and I think inside the Earth itself is changing. And as I said before, the magnetic field is starting to shrink.
and
I was
was that
reading something.
also. Go ahead, Anna.
I was reading something. Evidence of geomagnetic reversals. It can kind of be seen in the ocean ridges. They study it, and it causes the plates to kind of move and whatnot and shift. So you're going to have a lot of kind of volcanic stuff and all this kind of stuff with the Earth. It's how they actually measure it.
And with more cosmic rays coming in, with weather changes, we could actually have
Well,
a mini ice age from this. It's likely
you
because
know,
the sun is going into a low activity period. It's actually the solar wind and everything that stimulates lots of cloud formation, and the clouds are 90% of what keeps the planet warm.
Well, it
now,
could take up to several thousand years to accomplish if it was a reversal.
Yeah, but we are in transition right now. That's
You think that started then? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And we've noticed all these new forms of clouds at extremely high altitudes. Well, that, from what I understand, is from the cosmic rays. They're generating these strange and unknown high altitude clouds before it hadn't been seen. Of course, some of it is what I believe to be chemtrails that I'm 100% positive we're being we're being sprayed with a mixture of different metal oxides and chemicals, and I think it is actually intended to fight the global cooling and maybe actually try to keep the planet warm as we go into this cooler period. So really, it had been mentioned that they would supposedly use that to mitigate global warming, but the thing of it is, I believe it's actually being used to warm the planet.
now, and if we're going into a mini ice age, or as you said, I mean, I'm opposed to chemtrails because let the Earth do what it needs to do. Because I think, in some ways, it's a healing process. It's a natural process, but they're trying to mitigate it with harmful chemicals. I think, my personal opinion, um, which is not going to be good for us if we're entering this. It's a long event,
Yeah,
but
they're trying to prevent us from noticing that there is a change going on, so that we don't adapt to it.
So why do you think they're not telling us about the change then?
maintaining control. If people start to adapt to the change, then your consciousness, I believe, will change. And I've noticed that people are having, they're thinking differently than they used to. There's, we do have the internet, but then again, a lot of people just use it as a replacement for radio and TV. But not everybody's doing that. Some people are having an awakening and getting this information together, and and this change is going along. But I think that's really, if anything, a smaller part of it. I mean, literally, if your environment is changed, you will be changed.
That's absolutely the truth, and I was this maybe pulling a tiny bit off of topic, but I think, well, maybe it's not. I think that some people are going to adapt very well to this and just go with it, and I think others are going to panic and fear. Fear can be the biggest, scariest part, and maybe a lot of people are feeling fear right now, and they don't understand why they are feeling this fear, besides all the propaganda, which, if you can get beside some of that crap, there's still a natural fear people are feeling, and you don't need to fear this. This is a natural process. And most of the times it seems like, if we look back in ancient times, we're finding out that they had technology of a more natural kind with pyramid structures and so forth. And something happened, and we kind of went back to a lower grade human, maybe. And maybe this could evolve us back to a higher grade if you would just let it flow and not think it was the end of the world, or, where I'm going. Maybe someone else could put that in better words.
We all resonate to one another. If we resonate fear to one another, then it increases the overall fear in its place. If we resonate critical thinking and maybe a broader perspective and open-mindedness, then that resonates positive, and positive energies and feelings. That resonates that and builds that. And giving us things like fluoride and putting aluminum in the air, that is meant to lower our vibrations. That is meant to dull our senses and to dull our brains. That is meant to actually devolve us. I mean, we've had a declining average IQ since.
Well, we can't even answer the simplest questions that sixth graders in the 1800s had to answer to get into, I think, to the seventh grade. College students cannot answer those questions now. That's how devolved we are becoming.
And you take a bunch of kids from school, from the high school or whatever secondary school, and ask them to survive out there in the wilderness. They wouldn't survive. Nor would a lot of us. We've all lost a lot of skills.
Well, that's instinct, I believe we've lost. And I believe if we lost some of this Wi-Fi soup and all the other stuff that's in our air, which is probably an interference with our intuition, that it wouldn't take that long for the intuition to start coming back. There are going to be psychopaths out there, though. And at first, if something was to really change, you're going to have people go from some consciousness will be higher, others are just going to hit rock bottom, and you're going to, you don't know what they're going to do. And it's all out of fear, and we need to try to uplift those that are in fear.
It's very possible, and I think there's been some studies showing that the exposure to the Wi-Fi and everything causes headaches and lowers concentration in a lot of people. At the very least, it lowers concentration. And the thing of it is that our brain is electrical in nature, and we're also electrically conductive. These radio frequencies can actually interfere, and it's been proven that brains can be influenced by concentrated radio waves directed at certain parts of the brain. That's one of the ways that well, not just radio waves, but magnetic waves. That's one of the ways now they do non-invasive brain studies. You think there's something like an MRI, then they can use magnetic resonance to do all the internal structures of your brain, in the frequency, and they could use it to also to affect your brain, but not necessarily an MRI machine, but something in a different bandwidth.
I'm sorry if you guys are hearing that. People are trying to call me right now, and I can't answer anybody's calls. So.
Brain, it's all electromagnetic. It's both electricity, magnetism, and it propagates in waves.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that wave technology in a little while, because that is the most fascinating part of this. Will be a fascinating part of this.
Yeah, everything in the universe exists as both a particle and a wave. Every solid object
exactly
around you, even us. If the truth was told, we're quantum beings. Our brains are capable of operating on a quantum level.
I think I could keep going because I'm getting distracted here, and I don't mean to be. But you're right. Everything, we're going to get on that wave technology, because I realized yesterday when we were talking about this, wow, I think a lot of us have experienced that and just didn't know what we were experiencing, had experienced. And that means that everything is consciousness. And that's what's wild, which we all know we're connected. If some of us know we're all connected to one another. But to see it play out at the most basic levels, and what do you call them, neurons, or is that what they're called?
Yeah.
All right, making conscious decisions just blew my mind, especially when they knew they were being filmed. So that actually, what can science say? I mean, they threw them off.
The double slit experiment, yeah, that was where they were passing a beam of electrons through a slit and having it land on something where they could see where they were landing. Well, either a single slit or a double slit, they would get an interference pattern, proving that the electron itself was both as a physical thing, and it was also existing as a waveform. But as soon as they put a device to view the electron, I got that all mixed up. I'd have to start with the beginning of that, and really, I think the best way to explain it is just to let the video explain it. It's kind of aimed at kids, but then on the upside of that, it's not going to be to where just anybody can understand it, because it's really simple things. The whole universe is made out of the most simplest things.
It was like a paintball gun. That's what it reminded me of. If you had a paintball gun and you had one big piece of cardboard with one slit in it, or two slits in it, and you tried to fire these paintball things through it, it would make a certain pattern on the back wall. But as soon as you weren't looking at it or they weren't recording it, the pattern was different. And they had people witnessing it, and it was a different outcome. They removed the people, they recorded it on tapes or whatever. People didn't even need to be there. It was just being recorded. And the same thing, it was a different outcome. So just by people being aware of it, it changed it.
Yeah, I think that it's coming back to me now. They were having this thing where with the double slit they were getting one band, whereas with two, they were actually they were getting two bands. and then they were getting one band. Oh man, it's something I just can't explain because I
Yeah.
just came to it, and I'll have to go back to it. But the thing to glean from it is that everything around us is existing is existing in two different states, and that the actual act of observing it in two different states completely takes away one of its states, and it becomes solid. The waveform goes away, but uh, at the same time, left when we're not trying to observe something. I think that's why science has such trouble with spiritual things and certain paranormal things, because they're so much in the act of observing that what they're observing loses its form, loses half of its form to where they can't see it. And another important state of mind that, you know, if you're not expecting to see something, you're completely in doubt. You've already created that energy for that observation, and you want to observe that you don't want to observe. Whereas, it may be observe something that you're expecting to observe, but if it's not there, you can't observe it. Now, if it is there, excuse me, if it's not, if it's probably not my best day for this. If it's not there and you're observing it, you're saying if it is there and you're observing it and you're expecting to see it, then it's real. Whereas on the other side of things, if you're not expecting to observe it and you're in the frame of mind that it doesn't exist, you won't see it, even if it's there or it's not. That's what I was trying to get at. But but science, being of that mind, is like, well, you seen something. At the same time, I seen nothing, so it wasn't there, and you're insane. But they're in different. These are two entirely different brains and two entirely different operating at two entirely different like, frequencies. So, and mindsets. So that sort of throws the wrench into the thing. And the quantum mechanics it sort of proves that the act of a certain kind of observation, trying to, pick it apart while it's happening. That's the thing, and we're trying to observe it while it was happening instead of observing the leftover effect after it happened. The act of trying to observe it while it was happening completely made it behave a different way. It put it back to took the wave shape, the wave activity away, and put everything back to just everything behaving as if it was solid matter.
Mm-hmm.
The random went away.
Well, and you were talking about paranormal, because that wave thing would explain why some people see things and other people don't. I'm going to leave that link here in the external chat so people can go and look at this. And this is scientific. People not being able to explain some things to me. I saw it as consciousness, which means that we are consciousness. Everybody, everything's connected. We're even connected to rocks and trees, you guys. Everything that is made up. And in the paranormal aspects of it, people say they see things, and they seem to fear the things they see. But why should they? Why can't we live in like with the wave thing? I don't find it really abnormal at all for us to be living in like different dimensional things, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So that's how I'd look at that myself. Maybe I'm going a little crazy here, but haven't we all had experiences where we couldn't explain what happened?
I think if it was more accepted, more in the open, more people would be open with their experiences. I mean, even that experiment is not widely known enough. That kind of proves there's a consciousness there. There's something there that's not physical that, but it can be proven. But it's still,
I don't think I don't think the system wants to believe or you to believe that kind of thing. They'll say it's hallucination or ridicule you or whatever, especially if there's not physical stimuli there. You know, if you're others are not seeing it and you're seeing it or whatever, hearing it, then they're going to put it down to hallucination or you're off your head or whatever.
Yeah, even though things that we can't see can be photographed because the camera is non-analytical.
Well, what we see is
it captures what's there, like a tape recorder that can capture sounds that no one can hear.
Yeah.
Being not having a conscience, it's non-analytical, so it receives because it's there. It wouldn't receive it if it wasn't there.
I also think that some people are just more accepting of seeing. I'm going to tell you something. I think when ghost hunter shows and stuff like that came online, they discredited consciousness, period, because we all had vision at one time in our life. And by vision, I'm going to say you had the vision to even connect. I'll even go back. And I'm not talking about Native Americans. I'm talking about all tribal peoples had the vision to know how to contact someone else when they were in trouble and people would show up. Now, there's a word called division, which we looked into the etymology of it, and die means two in Latin. So division would mean, they explained that just because I explained it wrong, but how it would create a divide in how each other thought. If we all had vision and it was left alone, we would be great.
Less esoteric with it. In that, okay, if you have two visions, then you have two separate things, and they're not the same. Or is it, if two people have the same vision, then it's one vision. It's not two. But if two people have two different visions, there's your division, and they're usually conflicting.
Now, would this not almost sound like the powers that be would like to take that intuition that we had, and everyone, I was reading back that vision, everyone had vision at one point. I don't know if it's the fluoride or whatever, but now people have lost that vision that it seemed that we all used to have, intuition, vision, whatever you want to call it. And now that it's been separated into two, it divides us as the human race. If it wasn't for someone wanting to control our behavior, then that wouldn't happen, and we would be getting along with all human beings. The vision would be there. And hey, Peanut, welcome. I'm glad you made it. We've been trying to get you on.
Hey, boss.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Peanut.
What's up, everybody?
How are you?
Good.
All right, I guess. There's two other people, Joe and some other lady. I don't remember what her name was. I joined, but it was with Joe and some other lady, and we was trying to get in.
And nobody can get in.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first invite you sent, that's the one I come to, and I was there for some time by myself, and then some lady joined in. I forgot what her name was. Short-haired woman. And then Joe, I can't think of his last name. I know you know him.
Yeah, it must have been the wrong link. It must have been an old link. You were in that other chat.
An old link.
Yeah, it must have been an old link you sent.
I bet it was. Oh no, because I've been trying to send out while we're doing the live chat, making sure you got here. So if somehow or another, this whole thing didn't even send out reminders. I had to go and redo the page real quick so it would send out reminders. So Google has messed with us a great deal on this chat here. Maybe they listened to us talking about all the research we were putting into it and didn't want it to go out. I don't know. Because, guys, we did put a lot of research into it, but we'd also like to hear from you guys in the chat of what you think we're talking about, and do you agree or disagree?
Absolutely. That's all part of it. If we don't hear from people, then we don't know. There's not much of a point if we can't get some feedback, because we all need to work together.
Can I take up what Linda was saying a
Absolutely.
second ago? You were talking about the vision and whatnot. The way I'm kind of seeing that is a long time ago, we. I don't want to bring in religions. We would have been more grounded. We would have been more in tune with what was around us, our psyche, whatnot. Now with television, with everything else that distracts us, we're not tuned in at all.
And we're not. We're regimented brain. It's
It's not.
regimented to this industrial electronic pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally intentional too, because just looking up the word vision can take you places that you've never. It's a rabbit hole because people had just vision. Now, I'm not saying this is prophetic or anything. People had vision, which I take as basic intuition, and then the division. That word itself, as just explained, means die means two,
Mm.
in Latin, and the etymology of it means two. So they split the vision to where we would have opposing views. How did they do that? Someone did that intentionally so that the human race could not connect and get along and evolve. And I'm not talking Darwinism and involving, I'm talking evolve as we should have. Um, and it's almost creepy that they've been able to do that to us.
Yeah. Just to see past all these imposed differences and see each other's humanity and resonate with
Absolutely.
of each other's humanity, and that we all are the same in that we all have the same needs and the same feelings and are affected in the same ways. Some people, everybody's a little different. Yes, there's individual differences, but on a basic level, not 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 just so basic, but a little more than that. Uh, Really, to where in my view, it's rather profound.
And another thing that's puzzling, again, what Linda said there, sorry, is when I was looking into this geomagnetic stuff and shifts and whatnot, it was talking about sunspots and the fact that the sunspots are reducing big time now. There was a load of studies done on sunspots over the last few hundred years, and they were saying when the sunspots reduce and they really start to slow down, it's shown that people on the world, everything kind of on the world kind of slows down, becomes a little bit calmer. They went through history and tried to pinpoint different things and kind of match them to the sunspots when they were big, when they were small, whatnot. By rights now, we should be in a really calm time because the sunspots are getting slower. There's not as many of them, which that I found was a bit odd, you know.
Absolutely. This anxiety and these low vibrations that we're going through are actually stimulated and induced to us through, intention. All of these crazy things that are going on in the world, it's being induced.
Well, I'm going to read some things from the chat here. Brolance, television, tell a vision. Division is two visions. They are indoctrinating you through television with their vision. That's absolutely, positively the truth. I agree 100%. I say shoot the TV all the time. It's fun. I'm going to go through the chat really quick. We have Ronnie Brown and Derek Ward. Good afternoon to you guys. And True Seeker out there wants to know who the cutie pie on the right is. That is Anna Wallace. And she is from Ireland. And we love her very much.
I was looking at this photo on the corner.
We love her very much. Mary, we Google's messing us up, so this is it. You're going to have to listen, sis. We'll try to get people in. The next time we'll do it differently somehow. This Google has messed with us. I was going to see if anyone else has. Yeah, it's been crazy today. I had to actually go redo the page. And hey, G Mangoes, we're doing good. And yes, I want to say something. We have a dear friend who's sick, and his name is Kansas, and we would like to send out prayers to him, and he reminded me of that. And if anybody's into, whatever energy form, just say a little prayer for him. He's a very good friend of some of ours, of mine and Dis and Peanuts here on the panel. And he's going through a really rough time, and so yes, blessings have been sent out to him. And that was a good reminder, because that is part of consciousness. We are all connected, and we need to pray and send positive energy to anyone we know who is sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But to get back to this, I wanted to tell you guys I don't know what just happened here. I was on my page and it clicked off. When the ghost hunter things and all that came on, you guys probably have, I don't know if people have seen those shows. Yeah. I think they tried to psyop something where, with those recorders to make people think, oh, there's ghosts. There's always been imprints and spirits around us. I think in the Bible it talks about that. I'm not for sure, so don't even get me going there. I don't know for sure, but people have told me that. I would expect, though, in my culture, it's always been a natural part. And why you would fear someone that hasn't harmed you or something that hasn't harmed you, in my experience, I don't fear anything that has not harmed me. If someone is trying to get in touch with you, maybe they have something good to say.
There's been several people that have come back from the dead recently. A man woke up in the morgue.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
And he came back. I mean, he was dead, for days, and just sat up and was alive again.
Well, have you guys seen the experiment where they put a man in a cool room who was pronounced dead and hooked up the electronic stuff to his brain to see how long the brain stayed stimulated? And it seemed like it was like 3 weeks before it even quit being stimulated, and he had been pronounced by all physicians dead. This was in another country, and I think it was just one doctor's freaky experiment that he wanted to see what does the brain do, and it kept giving like once a day an electronic response.
Yeah.
So what is dead? What is death?
There's actually been people that have been brain dead that came back to consciousness as well. But there was no output. So all of a sudden it started moving and they came back.
Yeah, but people have been pronounced brain dead, and taken off the ventilators or whatever, and they keep going, and then eventually come back. Some of them do. I've seen that. I've seen it once when I worked.
Didn't they used to in cemeteries a long time ago, in probably over in the UK, put a bell there in case you were buried alive?
Yeah.
So that you could ring the bell and they could dig you up?
Yeah.
And they left air and everything? Okay. So that right there, I mean, as funny as that sounds, that right there should tell you that we don't have this figured out at all. I mean, seriously, we don't. And the science at this time, I think, is more for promoting eugenics than helping people.
Yeah.
I
think so too. And since everything is waves and vibration, it wouldn't be Anyways, you were saying that you think consciousness in the split experiment where one of the waves was, active observing it.
You're cutting in and out bad, this.
Are you can anyone else hear me?
Yeah, right there
I can hear
again.
you now.
I
I
can,
can hear you now.
I
Yeah.
don't know what that is. Anyways, with the slit experiment, Linda, you said that you seen consciousness in that wave, but because the act of observing it took the wave away, made the electron behave as a solid object. Uh, well, I think that's very relative. I do think that our consciousness is vibration.
And again, all the
I,
old. Sorry, do you want to?
no, you go ahead because you
I
do
was
it.
just thinking, what you're talking about the waves and the particles and whatnot. They knew this a long, long time ago. This is what I find really intriguing. Is even if you go into Buddhism and whatnot, anything it describes the waves and the particles. It describes there being more space than physical things. They're now proving all this is true. You know, so like they knew, we
Okay, so
knew a long time ago.
I wonder how radio transmits through space when there's nothing to conduct it. There's no particles. You have a vacuum, pretty much a perfect vacuum, and yet the radio wave will move through that without having to have any particles to conduct it, like within our atmosphere. Or
so actually, a radio wave would be consciousness too, right? Are you saying that?
not specifically
Because
consciousness, but um, I think it
it'll
would display. I think it would display, or rather, diagram how that consciousness works and how consciousness can transmit and move
well,
around.
I agree with you. I agree with you because um, I know people are probably saying, "What in the world are they talking about?" But every you're going to have to go watch. I left it in the link. The experiment we're talking about, because a lot of us say we're all connected, and when I say that, and when we all say that, it's something we know in our heart, in our DNA. But if you've ever had any strange experiences, then you actually have that knowledge that we're all connected, and some of us have had those experiences, and it proved to us that we're all connected, and it's a frequency that you have to get on. There's low ones that keep you from even discovering this, and then there's higher frequencies that if you could ride that wave of a higher frequency, you would see so much that it would probably blow your mind. um, just like junk DNA, they say we have junk DNA. There's nothing junk in our DNA. Everything they're just not telling you um,
That's
that.
the eugenics. That's eugenicists that want you to believe that.
That's exactly right. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that is junk in your DNA. Everything is there for a purpose. And some things might be switched off right now because of, as the television, which tells a lot of lies and takes the vision away, or anything else, the propaganda that we see. Fear is always pushed. Why is fear pushed? Because what is the opposite of fear?
It lowers your frequency.
Right. And what is the word that would be the opposite of fear?
Fear?
If you're not in a
Lighten,
Brave.
concentration, high brain activity, uh, uh, epiphany. People have epiphanies. It seems that would be a high function.
well, I would think the opposite of fear would be love in a way, because fear takes an emotional response and puts it at the very lowest basic frequency. Um,
Down
and the opposite,
down there,
love is a very high frequency.
we go into fear mode. We're going on instinct, and the oldest parts of our brain really do take over. The reaction part, the higher thinking part, pretty much shuts down. We just react to stimuli when we're in a high state of fear. More animal, as like they call it the lizard brain, because of the Darwin theory and everything we evolved after we were, bacteria and fish and a monkey.
I want to read some things if you guys don't mind. Mule Team 66 says consciousness, and hey brother, how you doing? The soul is energy, and energy just changes but never ends. I think that's exactly what we're saying here. You got it, brother. Tree Seeker, yes, I know you want to move to Ireland. Anna, you're getting lots of compliments.
No, you don't.
I would like to say hi to Reverend Galileo. She's awesome. Derek Ward. The Bible refers to them as familiar spirits. There is nothing good about them. They are souls of the, I'll say it wrong, Gibor. Gibor are the offspring of the fallen angels. Okay, that's cool, Derek. I'm not a biblical person. Walking in my world, we accepted whatever we saw, and some things actually are signs for me, and I've never been misled. Hello, Ray, Miss Ray. She's here for a few. She's taking a break, but fact, we have had one that raised up in the morgue in 1976. So she is referring to people do come back to life, which that is we're all seeing that happen. Brolance did right. People often assume the end of man on earth is the end. He calls it a good start. And there is consciousness all the way around us. I actually myself talk to the trees and the winds and everything, so you can call me crazy, but they actually talk back to you. So if you have the heart to listen. Okay, I've read everything, and go ahead, you guys. This is becoming very good because the scientific split that video itself proved so much. When the neurons were on camera, they reacted different. They knew they were being watched. Did we talk about that?
Yeah. The act of trying to observe the electron in motion as it went through the slit changed it from one state of existing both as a particle and a wave to just changing it back to existing as a particle, so that it didn't create the interference pattern it would when it was in a waveform as each one went through, because they were firing them through one at a time and trying to observe it, whether it went through one slit or the other, to create the pattern they were getting, what it was doing, and the very act of observing it changed the behavior to where it would just make either go through one slot or the other and make two more patterns. Whereas without observing it, the film would catch. I think they were using film for this. It would catch a pattern of color. Each curve that it was moving in a waveform. So it's
Yes, you're breaking up a little bit, bro.
Things that move in a wave don't hit the same spot every time. Matter of time and you get a pattern. This can be done with light. There's some old experiments that were done in like the 17th and 18th century, where these quantum patterns can be generated with slits in paper and a light source.
I find really amazing about that. Our universe is aware of itself.
That's what it says, yes.
Isn't that amazing? It's actually aware of itself.
And
That's
photon is a little
a head
different.
reckon.
It is. It totally is. It's like it really is. Everything that is it's all so it's just repetition of the same design, more complicated pattern.
Hey,
And it all,
Dish, you're breaking up a little bit.
always breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I know. We love you anyway, even though you break up.
I'm going to try to get this. If I can fix this. I thought I had everything pretty loud.
This is the kind of stuff they don't teach any of this in school, do they? They don't want you to have that kind of thought process where you're asking these questions that we're talking about tonight. You don't hear any of this, do you, in the educational?
Oh no, you'll
And
never
this
hear
should be
that.
the
This is
basics.
Especially not in this context.
No, definitely not in this context.
It's very sad too because these are the things that should be taught in school. Um, you know, it's very sad that people, the things they're teaching children are irrelevant at this point. What are the things that the Earth likes? There's a spider out there. It's called the peacock spider, and maybe I should even just go find it. And it's when it does a ritual mating dance, each of them are different, and every symbol that you've ever seen on Earth is on this tiny spider. Each one of them have a different thing, which makes me think how connected we really are. I mean, from tribal things to like crosses from religions and stuff people call Illuminati stuff. Is all each spider has a different little thing. I don't know why I brought that up, but it just made me think how connected we really are. With even a spider having stuff on it. It's a beautiful little spider too. It's very tiny.
I think animals are more, compared to humans, most humans, animals are more connected to the earth and more aware of their environment than us humans are.
Yeah.
For instance,
I don't have the concerns we have. They don't have money, and they don't have their favorite TV shows. They don't have any of that to worry about. They're just living there, living in the moment, going on instinct and experiencing their surroundings.
was it not in the tsunami, one of the tsunamis, that there was very little animal life dead, like the dogs and cats
Yeah.
and what have you, all split the scene long before the tsunami came in.
Yeah, and if a ship's sinking, it seems that the rats know it before anyone else does.
That is true. I'm going to read a few more things, guys, because like I said, we learned from the chat room more than we learned. We sit and do all this research, but you guys are just listening to us after we've researched all this stuff, and I want to read some stuff. Broland says, perfect love casts out all fear. Derek, I agree, because if you have love, to overcome fear, you use love. I do myself. Derek Ward, peace, calm. He agrees with me on that too. The True Ray, am I seeing this live? No red light on live. Yes, this is live, Ray. Opposite of fear is love if you're speaking of energy. Okay. Mule Team is from Ireland, so I think Anna, he's probably saying if he was to go home, Ireland is his home. He is Irish, and that is a fact. He is a proud Irishman.
Can I say something for Ray?
Yeah.
All right, where it says live and it's got the little gray dot there. Click the little gray dot, and it will actually move you up to the live feed from the playback.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Reverend Galileo, love is not exactly the opposite of fear. It is so much more. And she said Mark Passio equates love with truth, but it's even bigger than both truth and fear in her opinion. And I agree. Hey, Carpo, thank you. We're raise the roof. He says animals smell fear. Yes, they do, and they do things to protect themselves when they smell fear. Which A lot of people do, but I think people overreact more than people, except right now, the way the police are acting. I don't even want to go off on that. I think that they've been drugged or something's happening.
Yeah.
Ray says the wind and trees and earth talk to her and hug all you can. This is valuable energy in the exchange between human and nature, energy that humans truly need for health. Yes, that is absolutely the truth. Biddy Tube, there's a lot more people who have stronger vision that are more aware than you think, but most are in the closet with that issue. And so nobody ever knows. I know somebody like that. There is a force about searching for those who are aware and wants to suppress them. I agree. Even this Google was a hard thing to get out, I'll tell you. And there are lots of ways to prevent suppression of awareness, but people first must have a desire to be aware. Then they can take the steps to recover their suppressed awareness. It takes some effort to be aware. I will post one thing you can do. Kill your TV and never watch it again. Biddy Tube. I think everyone here unanimously agrees with that one. Big hugs to you. Okay.
Definitely step away from the regimented thought patterns and the inducements. The thing of it is, like we going back to school, is like these things are never taught in school. Well, the thing of it is you're never allowed to question, even if they're teaching a theory, which is basically an educated guess. You're not allowed to come up with ideas of your own, because you're supposed to be learning their theory. You're not supposed to be creating any of your own.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the impetus within us to be creative. It's beaten out of us mentally.
And then they're bombarded at home, TV on, sitting down, eating their tea, watching the TV, bombarded, and distracted, what have you. And then
you get your brain all in line.
Yeah, we're talking about young people. I'm not saying all of them, but certainly I would say the majority are definitely in the TV box.
Well, that's what we're pushed towards. That's this whole system is meant. This whole Prussian education system, and all this influence around us, is normalcies. These things that we're supposed to want with this consumerism. Got to have the big screen TV. Got to have the two cars in the garage. And that is just so pressed upon us from birth that it's hard to break out of that. It's hard to break out of that regimentation, because that is defined as normal. And what that is just defined as your life.
And
Can I say something?
Yes.
I keep doing it. I'm so sorry. No, I don't know if this is true or not. I read this online a while ago about colleges in America. Critical thinking classes were being removed from some of the courses that are over there. Now, I don't know whether it's true or not, but that to me is just, you're going to college, third level education. You're supposed to start using your own mind, but the critical thinking classes are being pulled.
Well, Anna, I was a public school teacher, and what they did is, this is during No Child Left Behind. Mm-hmm. They totally told us, we got a big seminar done by Big Pharma. Label the kids, get them on medications. And actually a reading class turned into a computer game class. Everything was a computer game, so they weren't reading, they were playing a computer game. And so that helped.
Yeah, whatever happened to recess? I mean, you can't let kids play together anymore because of safety or whatnot. I don't know what their is now. But no, we can't have recess anymore. Somebody might get hurt. Well, that's part of life. You've got to experience some little things that's not going to kill you, so that you have some, I don't know, some ability to be able to understand things and to protect yourself as you get bigger and older, and your body's less able to, and then also it's just you're with others, your own peer group, so it's also a social thing, very social thing.
You guys, I'm going to interfere. I got a text. I want to. I didn't mean to interfere that much.
I just had to get that out.
I want to interfere real quick. There's been several people sending emails, and I'm going to say it again. If anybody prays, which I do pray, not in the fashion people think, but or positive energy, it is actually, I believe, prayers and some healing energy is helping a very good friend of ours named Kansas Hillbillyprepper. Please, I'm going to ask everybody in our audience, please do me a favor and just for a few seconds, please take time out and say whatever you believe in, send some of that energy to him. He is a very, very, one of the kindest human beings I have ever met. If that is possible for everyone to do, you know, just in your heart while we're talking. I prayed all day yesterday. I prayed this morning. I think everyone should just say something because it seems to be working. And that might just go along with this conversation we're having.
Well said, Linda.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just want to put that out there that his name is Byron, and he is in our thoughts and prayers, and we do love you. I hope you will one day see this video because we do love you, and we're all connected. And if one of our brothers is hurting and his family, then the rest of us are hurting. And because some of us know him personally, it affects us, and we are our brothers and sisters keepers. So just, I wanted to put that out there.
Good one, girl.
Yeah.
Nice positive thought every time I think of him, which is about every 2 or 3 minutes right now.
I think you and I cried yesterday just together over him. And you know, and I'm not saying this and I know this is off course, but there's nothing wrong with crying. If I don't know if Dis did, I know he probably had a few tears come into his eyes because crying is not the sign that you're not a man. Actually, it means you are a man. If you can shed some tears for your fellow brother, and realize and have the humility and the humanity to feel the pain of his family, that doesn't make you less of a man. That makes you more of a man and more human. And that's what we've got to get back into. It also raises your frequency, what we're talking about, and your energy to be a part of the human race. So if I did cry, I had to. I don't know why I feel the pain of others. They say that, you know, I do. I feel pain of others. If they're hurting, I hurt, especially if I know them personally. And I guess it's a gift because some of that has been indoctrinated out of us. And we need to go back to feeling that. And we'd be kind and love one another.
Well, it means you've got emotion, and they want you emotionless. They want you not to have emotion amongst fellow humans and what have you. They want you to be desensitized. I keep saying they, but inverted commas. They don't want you to have feelings for one another.
You're right. And it's tragic that we can't show emotion. There's something wrong with society that you know, I saw this when I was growing up. A lot of cultures did cry, you know. Men used to, you look at the Italians, they used to hug and kiss each other on the cheek, the men. If you saw that this day, if two men hugged when they saw each other because it had been a long time, could you imagine what they would be called? The touching part of humanity is gone. What has happened? It's wrong. It's wrong. We need to go back and touch one another and hold each other's hands through difficult moments and cry with them and have that empathy and humility. And humility is not a bad word. Look it up. It's actually a beautiful word.
More fear. The fear has been, you know, socially accepted. You know, as you know, if anybody says, "Oh, you're just you know," people people recoil and you know they let that pressure get to them and let other people dictate their feelings, their humanity to them, and make them afraid to be human. Don't submit. If you got a feeling, don't submit to someone else's pressure to be different, to act a different way, to suppress your feelings, to suppress your positive expression towards another human being. We've let the people that are shy and embarrassed and that are ignorant um, and hide behind this tough exterior when they're really just as sensitive as any of the rest of us. They're just too afraid to express it because of their uh, prejudices. We've let far too many people like that control us. I mean, we need to help them come out of their shell and teach them, you know, what is, what is the thing that they're fearing and what isn't. You know, at least by talking to them, you know, and explain to them, bring them around, wake them up. I mean, we can't let that kind of pressure keep us down because it only is just suppressing people's feelings, but it's also suppressing, like it's just, our children are being suppressed, their creativity, their thinking, because you got to be regimented. It's just more regimentation, and we shouldn't do that to one another.
Yeah,
Agree.
and it's damaging. It's really, really damaging. This thing about I've got sons, and bringing them up, there was always this thing around where boys don't cry. I may, even now, boys don't cry kind of thing. And it's damaging, full stop. It really is. It harms them more in the long run if that's in them, and they grow up like that. And creativity, personally, I think to learn, you have to have creativity. It has to be there. It's really, really important. And the schools they're not wanting it. They do not take it seriously. And again, that's another barrier that's being set up, I think, that's not letting, I don't know, things flow the way they should be,
You guys, we've struck some good things in the chat, and I'd like to say something. The true Ray, if we were all taught about the powers that exist between us and nature, as well as the universe, they could not control us at all. Well, I could not at all control us. They could. Control would never be needed. The energy would be so strong in the positive that there would be no pain, sorrow, strife, suffering, hunger, etc. No reason for fights, war, etc. In fact, everyone would have all they needed and money would not be. You're exactly right, and I think that was what we were going to end on this, but you summed it up for us, sis. Reverend Galileo, she's talking, the public education has worked very hard to separate us from nature and our instincts and each other. Deborah says, blessings, bright blessings. Interested, you mentioned spiders. She had an experience the other day. A female was separated from her egg sac. She ran back and put her arms around the egg sac. Was she any less than we are at our best? She taught me about nature's love more than any humans, and that's a fact. Someone on here said justice for 9/11 now. I agree. I wish we could do something about that, and maybe by raising our awareness, we could do something about that. So I'll just put that out there for you. Don't think none of us have forgotten about 9/11 because that started the fear cycle. Reverend Galileo says, oh my God, I have so much to say about the drug dealers who call themselves psychiatrists. We hear a lot about the chemtrails, dumbing down education, radiation, EMFs, etc. But they got the doctors on board to drug us with the dangerous, even more insidiously addictive substances. I agree. It's in the air, water, and in our doctors' offices. Do not trust doctors. Derek Ward, I agree, Reverend. We've talked about that. Derek Ward, real men cry. Thank you. And he also said, bikers always hug. The Northwest Prepper said, my invite both don't work, so I'm watching in YouTube. Thank you, brother. We're having a lot of trouble with Google Plus. I reposted this the second time today because it was bizarre. And Derek Ward said, I cried every time I watch Spirit Cimarron Stallion. Okay, that must be a movie that I haven't watched. I don't watch many movies, but if it's a good movie, tell me. I might watch it. If it's an indoctrination one where they push an agenda, I don't watch. So you can leave that for me if you would, Derek. All right, and we can go back to our conversation. And Peanut, I'm actually so glad. I would like to know how you're doing because we've actually had you in our prayers.
I'll leave that to another chat somewhere when it ain't live.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say we love you, and I hope you've been feeling the love that we've been trying to send you, because
Thanks.
we do love you. And like I said, I believe we are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper. And fear, just you want to say what you wrote on here about fear leads to violence?
It does. In that fear itself puts us in the fight or flight state of mind, and if we feel that flight won't solve the problem, then we can become violent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and as the true Ray had mentioned, without all this, we would be living in a different consciousness where we wouldn't even have these thoughts that we're having to discuss now. Isn't that sad that we have to discuss this and hopefully open someone up to a new, to even think, to even watch the video that scientists proved, to me, was that everything is conscious and it never ends.
Everyone should watch that video. It is so important.
Yeah, I did leave it in the links. I'll try to drop it in there again. Hold on, and I'll leave it in the internal chat also.
One thing that happened when our IQ started dropping around things is we got radio. We also got sound films, and those were very, very powerful propaganda devices that took up a lot of people's time because it was new and it was fascinating, and people just slurped it right up like they slurped up TV in the 50s and color TV after that, and there we go.
Did you watch the series Onderkoffer or Ondertube? He keeps getting his channel taken down, bless his heart. Put up something on Walt Disney from the very onset, how they used it as almost a pedophilia thing, and that was in at the very beginning. I may even throw that link in to show you how subliminally, that was subliminally teaching people to not view children as children, but as something else, and that was scary. I'm going to leave two links in. I'm going to go to the science one, and then
viewing them as little adults, but not with the respect of the fact that they are still children. Not with enough respect, in my opinion. And there's the subliminals are right there in front of you. Just how things are portrayed. It sets you up into one frame of mind to view these next few scenes a particular way, but that's not what it's trying to say. So you get a subliminal effect off it.
I'm going to mute for a second while I go find these videos. I'm going to drop in here for you, Peanut, and also on the outer one, because sometimes they come on, when you go find the videos. So I'm listening. I'm just...
All right.
Yeah, and that is being used on us right now with television and everything else. A premise is set up, or a frame of mind is set up with programming. Yeah, programming. Excellent choice of words. And when something odd or strange is thrown in, we perceive it in the way that we're anticipating to perceive it because of the setup. It's like one of the things that got me off of TV was the canned laughter. There was a lot of the jokes I didn't really find funny. After a while, I was like, wait a second, what am I doing laughing? This isn't funny. I was just finding the stimuli, and the next thing I couldn't stand radio for the advertising. And all of the convoluted garbage going on there, even though I love music. and I love film and things, but some of this stuff I really don't like because it is full of subliminals and it's full of messages and programming that is not good to change you. Makes you different, and over extended periods of exposure to it, you start losing yourself in it, which that is the point.
Yeah.
Become regimented to it. And at the same
And it
time,
takes a lot of effort as well to be aware of that constantly. Even the way, if you read newspapers, just being aware of the way it's worded.
Yeah.
They can describe something that's a normal kind of grand event, and they'll put this kind of really ominous word. It was dangerously something or other. And it wasn't dangerously anything. Just being aware of all this, it takes effort. It really does. And to kind of keep up on it all the time, but you have to be aware of it.
dead on. Dead on.
Well, since everybody's slowed down a minute there, I'm going to jump on share something with you guys. Since my last video, I think some of you might remember about me talking about my cousin, got the snake. He's been to the hospital now 4 times, just got back yesterday, and now we finally found out what we're going to do to him. On his right hand, his middle finger, the first knuckle, we're going to take it off at the first knuckle, and the second one, we're going to take it off at the second knuckle. So he's going to lose part of 2 of his fingers on his right hand.
Bless his heart.
But other than that, he's doing pretty good. Just got some problems with that. And with some of the stuff y'all was talking about, I want to bring up something that sounds kind of crazy in a sense, but something I've noticed since they put this tower in right here close to me. I noticed in the evenings around 9 o'clock, it seemed like I get this ringing in my ears. And I noticed the dogs around here. There's one back there on the hill, one over here. Around 9 to 12, 1 o'clock, these dogs constantly sit out here and just bark. And there's nothing out here. I just think that's so odd. I'm hearing this, singing like in my ears, and these dogs are going crazy. I just think that is so crazy.
Yeah, it's putting off a harmonic that is actually, it's physically probably causing your ear to ring, and it's probably causing the dog's ears to ring too because they have more sensitive ears.
Mm.
They're just so funny. And one other thing I want to share, I was going to make a video about all of this. I just haven't had time, guys. Got a lot going on right now. But one other thing I want to bring up about what's going on with, and I know I'm kind of getting off a little bit, Missouri, I guess, because I haven't been on it net very much. Here in the last couple of days, first time in history here in my part, they done a road check up here the other night. There was about 4 or 5 carloads of state police here on the Kentucky side, but right across on the West Virginia side, they shut the whole 4 lane down. There was probably about 25, 30 cops over there and checking people. And then the other night they done the same thing. That's the first time anything like this has happened around here. That's it, guys. That's all I wanted to share.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about these roadblocks. How long is it going to be before they start forcing people to give up DNA and stuff? That haven't done anything. By intimidation. I mean, we're just inches from that, and they're trying to database us and catalog us for some.
Yeah.
I would expect nefarious reason because, I mean, who's the NSA spying on? They're spying on us. They're not spying on our enemies. They should be spying on our enemies.
Yeah.
They're going to spy on anyone. Us. Why are we the target?
On the towers, I'd like to say something to Peanut. Besides, we're praying for your cousin. We will, and then we will keep your cousin in our prayers. The towers, Kitty hiked up. They're putting towers all around us. You said that you hear a ringing. I was trying to listen and look up stuff at the same time. We've been noticed. We live in a rainforest, right on the outside of a rainforest, where there's really no need for all these towers, and they're putting them up. And Kenny hiked up to one, and we did a video. It says it's ran by a cell phone company, but it had all kind of stuff on it. Now, of course, he's right there, and maybe because there's too much energy there, he tried to use a cell phone, and there's no signal. By the time he hiked down the mountain, which was quite a ways, he couldn't get you can't get a signal. I mean, in 5 to 10 miles of where it's supposed to be a cell phone tower. So these towers, and the reason what got me to get him to go there is because on our radar, when I watch the radar over our where I live, it'll say tornado warning over this one area right down the road, and it will have blue skies and sunshine, and it's like, Kenny, they have got to have a tower up there, so he hiked up there and checked it out. This tower is not used for cell phones. It may have, you know, AT&T or Verizon, but this tower is definitely being used for something else. So weather modification, our behavior modification, I don't know, but it's definitely not being used for cell phones. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. And he did do a video on it, so it's kind of interesting because you can see some of the stuff. Maybe I can talk him into going up there. I can't hike that far up a mountain, and he can, and doing a better video of it. So
maybe it's jamming our frequencies.
Yeah.
well, I'm sure he didn't like the way he felt when he came back. So
if it's affecting you, then it.
if Ondertube is still out there, he has a video on Walt Disney. I couldn't find it. If you're still, he was watching us. If you're still listening, would you throw it in the external link on how they're pedophiles? Because you did a brilliant job of that. And Kenny's actually going to look for it for me. And if he finds it, he won't be able to put it in the link, but he'll at least be able to send it to me because he's on his phone. And I've actually lost my own YouTube channel where it showed where our chat is by doing this. So I'm going to have to go find us so I can look and see if there was, I can find us. Here we go. So I can actually, because I like the audience participation, because we learn, like, we researched all this, and you guys, you know, of course, and sometimes it's easier to say when all of us are talking about it, too. People keep a lot of things to themselves.
How true.
Oh, all right, here we go. Big hugs from Miss True Ray. She has to get back because I'm going to tell you guys something about the True Ray. The Common Core got to her. If some people say they do things and some people walk their walk, which is what you're supposed to do. If you say, I'm going to do this because it's going to protect my children, and you're just saying it and you're not doing it, then why even bother saying it? Miss True Ray is homeschooling her children the way they're supposed to be homeschooled. She takes care of, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, she takes care of, I'll just say a family member in her home who is sick that we should all pray for too. Things are tight at her family, and she manages to hold it together and embrace love instead of saying the world has just you know, look how bad the world's treated me. She has taken on, she walks her walk. That's all I'm going to say. And everybody should pray for her too, because I talked to her son, and we're going to have him on our program. And I got to tell you, I called her house the other day. And why I want you to pray for her is because to keep her going on this path. Do you guys remember back in the days where manners were required? I don't know if you, some people may not be old enough to know this, but I had to say yes ma'am and no ma'am.
Absolutely.
It was like when her child answered the phone. I didn't actually want to get off the phone with him. He knew who I was. He was so polite and used the manners of old time of respect of people older than you that I had tears running down my face. She has just done an awesome job, and I want people to send positive energy to her for the job she's doing. And we're going to have her son Obi on here to talk about word spells and stuff. So I want everybody to know that'll be coming up pretty soon. We just thought we should have touched on this again. But yes, Ray, I send love, hugs, and you're in my prayers every night. And I'm going to tell a little secret, maybe I'm not supposed to, but she prays all the time too to the Creator, and we're kind of in sync on that. A lot of us sisters walk side by side. We don't lead each other. We don't follow each other. We hold each other's hand and walk side by side, as I believe Anna and I are now becoming very sisterly, and we would definitely not lead one another, but walk side by side, because and we also have fun. Don't think that we're always serious. And I wanted Anna to see a fun side of us.
I did the other night.
And Peanut, I wish you would have came in here. I want to tell you how good laughter is for you. Rick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah.
Did you have a good time the other night? We were talking about this. We got off topic and we had a blast.
Yeah, we did.
And you guys, I want to tell you who we made fun of. I don't know the congressman's name. But the guy who talked about islands, that if everybody went to one side, the island would tip upside down.
Is it Hank Johnson? I think it's Hank Johnson, is it?
Hank Johnson. And I
thought we could do...
Hank Johnson.
Yeah. Hank Johnson. We might need to throw his link up. If you guys ever need to laugh, we might need to throw his link up. If you guys ever need... I'm going to find his link.
The thing is, we can find some of these.
What's his name again?
Big echo.
Everybody start echo.
Okay. I'm supposed to fix this. How?
I have no idea. This
the band is low.
It's a bit tricky, actually.
Audience, are we echoing?
Well, we hear it.
sound like hollering in a cave. Hey.
Oh, I just love that Google Talk.
Sound like hollering in a cave. Hey.
Stop, wait.
I love that Google Talk plug-in. It's so... Hold on, I'm going to jump out. Since I'm not hearing it, it might be me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think we stopped. No, we didn't.
Yes, we've stopped.
Yes,
now.
we did stop.
It.
I did.
Yes.
It was your fault.
Dystopian. You're nothing.
Okay. I gotta find Hank. What's his name again?
Hank Johnson. Now the thing is, Hank Johnson's his name. The thing is, we can laugh about it, and I could not believe that this guy was actually elected. Unless he's got hidden meanings with the words that he uses, I have not got a fucking clue why people elected this guy. But still, he was quite funny and he cheered me up. But the bit about the island...
I'm going to find the island one and put it for everyone.
If everybody moved to one side of the island would tilt and fall into the sea.
I got it. I found it.
And then the other one about balloons. Was it about balloons?
Yes. We couldn't live without balloons. It was more important that he talked about the balloons than like wars or peace and love. And you guys, I'm going to leave this link, even though it's old in here. I want you to watch the guy who's supposed to be some high military ranking person, not even correcting him, saying islands don't float and they're not going to sink, because that almost showed me that I told everybody, this is scary, this is why we need people from around the world. Don't follow America because they're dumbing us down.
But there's actually a federation for the Helium Association, isn't it? The Federal Helium Association. We looked into the helium side, and there's a lot more to the helium than we actually thought there was. It's big, big business, and they use it a lot. Not just in balloons, but this guy's put on about balloons.
Okay, and we'll get off that, but that is, we do have fun when we did a lot of research, and then to lighten things up, the Hank Johnson got thrown in, and we laughed. All of us were in tears, which is a good thing because that brought us up to a higher frequency, because laughter's good for you. So if you need a good laugh, I left it there, and I'll put it in the internal link, because I think, Peanut, after this, you may enjoy this very much. That'll explain half of what's wrong with America. This is an elected official.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Oh yeah, you've got to.
I mean, and just the fact that the guy who's in the suit, who's supposed to represent our military, doesn't even correct him, scared me, saying we're really screwed. Or are we? Because maybe we can rise above this. Because I see in the chat room, people are, besides our little echo mistake, we are actually, people are talking. Reverend Galileo says, I've been feeling, thanks to all of us, she's been feeling so discouraged lately. But just knowing you guys are out there makes me feel a lot better. It was written, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But the person or wise ones who said that didn't say it was about feeling better. So we've got to help one another. You're right. We will go against the grain. Therefore, we are the target because we're not evil. That's exactly right. When we were talking about the towers, and my thing has not uploaded more comments yet. It takes a little while, and as soon as I get to them, I will. I guess I could refresh and do this and see how we're going here. This has not came back on, has he?
Hello.
Oh, yes, we have. Sorry, I was looking at the chat room, not at our internal chat. Because I like our chat room. They are the ones. And let me see who's been spammed, because I always have spammed people. Yes, we're echoing.
Getting back to that cell tower. Can I get back to the cell tower thing?
Sure.
I read something in a link here that it was under a patent, a US patent, and it says the number of the patent, microwave hearing via broadcast. And this invention relates to a hearing system for human beings in which high-frequency electromagnetic energy is projected through the air to the head of a human being. Energy is modulated to create signals can be discerned by the human being regardless of hearing ability of the person. But I've been looking at I've got the US patent in here, and I've been looking for it and I can't find it, so I don't know whether that's just false.
Yeah. Waves can be imposed upon one another to create other waves of different colors.
Yeah, no, it was just a patent. It was saying it was a patent for this, and I looked at the patent and I couldn't see them. So unless I'm looking at them, but certainly there's lots of the military are looking into or are using microwave, aren't they?
Yeah. The Navy just recently put out an article where they generated, I think, an 8-foot ball of plasma in the atmosphere with some of their radio equipment. Mm-hmm. So they're obviously experimenting with some kind of radio weaponry.
They've used it on crowds as well, protests as well, I believe.
They have.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I mean,
No, here in the UK, I think it was. I remember. I'm sure it was a protest in the UK that they used it on. Looks like a big satellite dish.
I want to say something. Carrie also, I don't know if she's still doing it, Classically Revamped. She homeschools too. And to every parent out there that does do that here in America, after seeing the Hank Johnson guy there, everyone should start homeschooling so we can at least, if we have to keep what I call government, which is mind control, if we've got to at least, if we've got to have it, let's have some intellectual people in there homeschool your kid. And Northwest Prepper, are we still echoing? I think the echoes quit here. So if you could answer, I would appreciate it. I think we've stopped echoing though.
Yeah. Sound good.
I've got the patent on that microwave thing. Yeah. So I'll just put it in the external chat.
Thank you, Rick.
It does exist, and the sound is induced to hit the person by radiating the head with microwaves. Well, that's nice.
Oh yes, this is that.
Creating a resonance. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Resonance. That's another subject altogether.
So there's your cell towers then.
Yeah, and Kitty was right up next to it. You know, that's kind of freaky. Yeah, he was. He took one for the team on that one, I guess. He didn't feel good afterwards, I'll tell you that. Now, so how do we counteract this? I mean, having conversations like this is one way, but how do we counteract what they're doing to us? I mean, I wish that everybody get up and just start pushing the poles over, but that's not going to happen.
Say it, but a tinfoil hat.
It would work, wouldn't it?
If it's grounded, I don't know. It might draw more radio waves to it. Not make an antenna like anybody that's ever in the pre-digital days, or you had your TV and you put some foil on the end of the antenna to get better reception.
Yeah, I remember the rabbit ears thing. The rabbit ears, we used to put aluminum foil across the rabbit ears, and it helped pick up the signals.
Yeah, maybe the tin hat actually makes it worse.
Okay, someone told me that copper blocks. Now, we couldn't all afford that for sure, but like a copper mesh around you helps. You know, if I could ever build a home, it would have lead paint. I know people are against that, but lead shields you from this stuff, and I would definitely put some lead, you know, on the external, at least the roof. I think I'd paint my roof, honestly, with lead paint.
Yeah. Put on a steel or aluminum roof and ground it.
As long as you don't leak it, you'll be fine.
Well, maybe I'd write all kind of stuff with lead paint on it, like, you know, stop the chemtrails, so, you know, pilots would see this. I'm just, you know, it would be a good thought, though.
Paint that'll actually block Wi-Fi. Let me look that up.
Okay, good. Because we need to find solutions to this. We are in a toxic soup, from our food to vaccines to the towers to everything they're doing, and even the fear. I'm going to add fear in that toxic soup because we all get caught up in the fear. I mean, we do. It's almost human nature that we kind of get sucked into it. Thank goodness, though, people are, you know, seeing through the fear that the government is throwing out.
Since you mentioned it, Linda, I want to add, I forgot to add this to her a second ago. Just dawned on me. Here the other night, when all this stuff was going on about the cops doing the checking stuff, just a day or two after that, or a day or two before, I can't remember, I got the article in my Facebook, but close to me here, to Charleston, between me and Charleston, West Virginia, they actually shut down the 4-lane because of something beside the road and was saying it could be an ISIS bomb. So
Oh,
that's kind of fear. They're doing it around here right now.
What was it? Probably a backpack or something?
I'm not sure. I will find that. It's in my Facebook, and
See,
it was on the news.
Yeah, I think this James Foley thing, not getting off the topic, but you know, that a lot of people think it's fake, whatever. I think that, you know, that's obviously meaning. So I think you're going to get more incidents like what Peanut's talking about.
Hey, James Foley's walking around. I think he hid out here in the rainforest. You know, I mean, they proved that. Even Asian, the first thing I read after that fake thing, which me and Rick Mack had a blast over that. That was me and him in a chat. Rick, I was high, okay? See, when I get high, I think differently. Rick showed me the live leak of the thing that they've now taken down. So, and the first thing I noticed is it's Photoshopped to hell and back, and the guy has a smile on his face. So I was high, so that took us into a whole nother thing where we had a blast. But, you know, they say, well, they killed him after they beheaded him. You know, that was a fake beheading, but then they killed him. Well, you know, you can't just keep changing your stories. It's not working anymore. You know, NSA, if you're listening, we don't even buy 9/11 anymore. I mean, some people did. Some people questioned it at the beginning.
Well, the main media is coming out and questioning it now too. Certainly in the rags over here, in the papers, they're questioning the whole thing, that it's possible fake. But it was definitely a green screen. But it's the first, and I've seen, unfortunately, you know, real beheadings, and I can see the difference between this one and the other ones. First of all, they usually have their music on, and there's crowds of them, and they're all shouting prayers and what have you. But there's also, it's the first one beheading that I've ever seen where they've gone to the point of putting a microphone on the James Foley's shirt so you can hear him. We're usually not that bothered about technology and what have you. That was an HD, and it was professionally shot. And they, you know, and when do you start putting microphones on people? You know, clipping them onto the shirt.
I agree. Hey, Disc, can we talk about this for a minute? What you just put up? I think that needs to go into a conversation topic right there. There is, you can buy paint and wallpaper that will block the signals, is what I'm gathering here.
I think it was first invented in France. People were getting headaches from all the Wi-Fi towers.
So I'm going to go see if I can put this in the I've got so many pages open. Let's see if I can do this. Can someone else drop that in the external chat? Because there is ways to.
Sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about the one that Disc put up. Why do I have a phone ringing here? Hold on, guys. I'll let you guys chat for a minute.
I'm going to assume, Rich, what y'all was talking about there. I mean, I'm behind a little bit on things. I haven't been on the net. The beheading.
Yeah, it was of the journalist James Foley, Peanut.
Okay. Well, from what I can gather of it now, like I say, I'm kind of behind on a lot of it right now. I don't believe that happened. You know, that's my opinion.
They came out and said it didn't happen. Even the mainstream media, yeah. But they say that they killed him after the fake beheading. They went ahead and killed him. How do they know? I mean, show us proof. I'd like to see the proof.
That's kind of like an old saying we used to have there. You can't be pregnant. Either you are or you're not.
Exactly. Did anybody drop that into the external link?
The Wi-Fi paint and wallpaper. I think that's what.
Yeah. I think that that would be, because, you know, I'm the one that's really big into this. I want to block this. I'm going to look and see what's going on in our chat room because I asked some questions. Okay, the echoing has stopped. Thank you very much, Northwest Prepper. Okay, so Carrie is still homeschooling her 3 girls, and I'm proud of her because that's a big job. 3 girls, she is doing it. Her oldest does online school, but my 2 others, I give them my own curriculum, good, from different resources. Let me tell you, it has been a wake-up. My oldest is 17. She right now is working on writing an essay for her online school, but she is so frustrated because she doesn't know how to. I had to help her extensively today on it. There are concepts she should have known from 6th to 7th grade. And I guess what Carrie's saying there is that's how dumbed down the schools are getting. Roland said fear, false evidence, appearing real. Very good. That's what it stands for. War profit. Hey, bro, I'm glad you're here. As human beings, we are connected to everything on Earth as well as the universe. We long to connect, all the while not really realizing that we were connected at conception. The cosmos is within us in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made from the collapsing stars. You're right, we are stardust and star stuff. Next time you're out gazing at stars in the night, know that you are part and connected to the universe in more ways than we can fathom. This connection is real. Brother, I so agree with you. Okay, hi everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are, and that is super damn. Classically, I think I already said about her and her homeschooling, which I'm very proud of you for doing that, sis.
That's right.
Counter, that is, well, no, that is Carrie, classically revamped, also homeschooled. And that, yes, and it's overwhelming. When you walk your walk or walk your talk, that just makes you such a better human being in my eyes. You can talk about doing it, but when you go and do it, it's very hard because I did it with one of my children when I quit teaching. It's very hard to do, but it's actually a relief at the end of it. It's worth it. Okay, Biddy tubes. Counteract, protects it from microwaves. Extremely expensive, but also a cheap way is an 85 dB reduction. Get some large rolls of thick aluminum foil from Restaurant Supply. Hey, we have one of those. Wrap all rooms in your home with it. Cover attic floor. Cover everything to overlapping layers. Thick. Use some thick aluminum wire to ground it. All ground at many places. Cover the windows, aluminum screens, and ground them. Yes, you may need to add some thin drywall over the rooms or paneling, but this will reduce the microwave by 85 dB. I don't know what that means, but you guys will tell me, right?
Could say about 85%.
Okay. Or more from entering. Yes, I'm in the process of doing the exact thing. Oh, you cannot stop powerful EMF from entering. Well, you can, but it's like 1 foot thick copper layers and so extremely heavy and expensive. If one of those happens, I just think learn to live and live with what's around you. Most of us by now should know in this conversation what to grow, what's growing around you that you can't eat, and that would possibly, stop some of this stuff.
Actually, there's an easier way, less expensive way of doing that. Is the material called EMU blue metal, and it is intentionally designed to block magnetic fields. They make little cups of it to put over your computer speakers, magnets, so that they don't. They're probably still putting them on there, even though we don't have the cathode ray tubes anymore. But it's was to stop the magnetic leakage from creating interference patterns on the screen because the magnetism is what guides the electrons.
ViddyTube also
But it's like an alloy of steel and some other things, and it's really not expensive compared to copper.
I want to thank ViddyTube because the comments that are being left. People read ViddyTube's comments because they're talking about the slit experiment and stuff, and which is all awesome. The room is alive, and I'm glad. Hatred will consume you. That's a fact. And that isn't even on ours. Sorry about that. I'm just looking through my belt because nothing's redoing. So that was on the wrong thing. But hey, that hatred will consume you. If you're feeling that hate, you go past whatever you feel like that's happening to you. Just go past it. Put it behind you. Block it. If it's on the internet, you can block it. If it's in your life, get away from it. I mean, because I don't like that either. Hatred, if someone has pure hate, then something's wrong with them. I don't have hate for anyone. I really don't, not even the elites. I would like to, if they do go underground, and like they say they are, or we've heard they are, I would barricade them in there because they deserve that for what they have done by that division, because we had vision. They have taken it away from us. Derek Ward is saying, oh, Dean Yates is on here. Hi, he said, hi, folks. Derek Ward said it's a hoax, a false flag to get American people ready to agree with going to war with Syria. I myself am a no war, not in my name, period. Done videos on it, Derek Ward, and he was talking about the beheading. Matt, the bassman, says hello to all. Hello, my friend, Matt, the bassman. I like him a whole lot. I wish we could get him on here. Landlogger, you are an empath, Linda Love. You spoke of feelings, other feelings, etc. Yes, me too. We are emotional empaths and stuff. And I understand exactly about that. We pick up on other people's feelings. And do you guys, I'm going to ask, do you guys pick up on other people? Like Anna, do you ever pick up on other people's, if they're, well, everybody can pick up on an angry person when they walk in the room. Does anyone ever pick up on a happy person when they walk in the room?
Yeah, the whole energy changes in the room. You can feel it. They don't have to say a word. You just feel it straight away. Nothing has to be said.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
What about you, Rick?
What about me?
Okay, can you feel the difference? Okay, everyone.
Yeah, I was following it. I was on a bit silly. Yeah, you can't. There's ones though you can't. You know, I don't think you can pick up everything, but certainly, yeah. I've had experiences where people have walked in the room and changed the atmosphere, etc. But then maybe it's your perception too. You know. You can change your perception yourself of different things.
It seems to me that people that are really guarded, are harder to read. It's like there's the very notion of them thinking, I don't want people to know things. It keeps people knowing things.
Yes, it does, but that doesn't mean that person's a bad person, you know.
No, it just means you can't read them.
You just can't read them, and then some people do get annoyed about that. So
it can actually cause people to not like you because they can't read you. I mean, and it's more of a subconscious thing, People I just don't like him. I don't know. Have you ever? I'm sure everybody has heard somebody say, "I just don't like that person. I don't know why."
Yeah.
It's because you can't read them. Peanut, can you tell the difference in happy or, you know, everybody, like I said, everybody can tell when someone's angry. You pick up that energy. Why we pick up negative energy easier than the happy energy. But can you tell when somebody's happy and feeling good?
Yeah, if I walk in a room, I can tell. I don't know what I feel, you know, just creeps up on me. I can tell something's not right.
That's good. That means, you know, if we can feel the difference, because I'm going to tell you, when somebody's angry, everyone feels it in the room. It changes everything about a room. But if someone's in a good mood, and if you can pick up on that, that can change the whole room to a positive, even if the negative person's in there.
Yeah.
You can change the negative to a positive. And usually the negative person will leave, because I think negative energy likes to overtake good energy, but if you overtake them, they don't want to stick around.
They're usually overpowering, aren't they? The negative energy is usually overwhelming. But if they can't handle it, then they're out.
Okay, how about everybody out there who's watching us? Can you guys tell the change?
I think it's in us all. It's an instinct, isn't it?
It is. I'm just hoping others can. Well, okay. Here's a
waves again.
Here's
if you think about it, it could all be going back to the waves thing. We're made of waves. All around us are made of waves.
The Reverend Galileo brought something up, and this is what's bringing people down. The financial part of it, the economic collapse. That is a doom and gloom. I've seen a couple of videos on it lately where they're going to be able to take money out of your bank account because some contract you have with the bank that says that you didn't even, I mean, I read everything when I opened a little bank account that I have with the local bank, and it says nowhere in there can anyone but me take out money. So it doesn't have, even in the finest print. But someone said that they now can, I don't know, I was watching some video that says that if you've got a contract with the bank, you have allowed them to take control of your money, and if the government wants to, they can take it out. Well, and not without my consent, so now I'm not going to keep but just enough to pay bills, and the rest is going to be on me. Thank you, Derek. His spirit feels good in this room. Mine does too. I think the chat room has been awesome, and also the people we have talking today is just an awesome group of people. So I feel good today.
If I had me a big lefty, I probably would too, Linda.
It's just nice to know that others are feeling good today, and maybe we can push that forward more. And is there anything else we were going to talk about today?
Sure.
I don't know. I've been behind.
Yeah, so we're going to catch you back up in a little bit. Was there anything else? Because we can get off this.
What's that?
This chat here in a little bit if we have done everything. Because we had kind of a certain, you know, what we wanted to talk about, and then I said it would be a 2-hour chat, and we've kind of hit our 2-hour.
Okay. I think we pretty much talked about everything. And a lot more.
Yeah. Any Rick, Anna, Peanut, would any of you guys like to say anything?
Okay. No. Can I say a quick thing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think even things like this that kind of whoever's watching it or listening, even this brings up that positiveness. And you just, Jesus, be aware of all the stuff that does bring you down, that's out there to bring you down. And, you know, you really have to try and be aware of it now. That's all.
Brilliant, because you're telling the truth. And then if laughter actually brings your frequency up, so if you need to laugh, go watch that congressman we have in the United States that thinks that islands can actually tip over because they float. if people were to go onto one side, it would completely flip over. That right there should bring your spirits up and you would laugh so hard. In a way, it's sad too, because these are the people representing us, but look past that and that will just make you laugh. And laughter is good, so just to put it in that context. We love you all. We will be doing more chats. Maybe once a week. I think this is working out for everybody, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it's an odd time for people in America. Down eat the yellow snow. Okay. We love you all, and I'm going to close this now. I want to thank everybody in the chat, you guys, because you teach us. We learn from you, and don't think we won't read your comments, because we do go and read the comments, because you're important to us, and we're going to try to have more and more people come on. We've had a hard time lately getting things going right. This is a ongoing project, I guess you would say. But we love you all, and we will be probably back next Wednesday, same time, same place, and I'll put something up of what it's going to be about. And I'm going to say goodbye if everybody else would like to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
And
Yeah, I want to say bye to everybody, especially Lance, Ray, and a few other G. Didn't see your comments, but glad to know you're out there.
And one more thing, please keep Byron or Kansas Hillbillyprepper in your prayers. He seems to be doing a lot better, and I think it is our energy that is helping that, because we are all connected. So I'd like to just leave that as the last thing. He is a very, very, you want to talk about a nice, generous human being, he is one. So please keep him in, even if you don't know him. I think everybody who knows him here on this panel will say he's a very good soul, and we need to keep him in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, we love you all, and I'm going to stop this now. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.